Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. The most popular silver man dives into gold. Let's explore. No, I'm not talking about the figure that you see before you here. However, it is without a doubt one of the most popular images that you will see on a silver privately issued round. But the American Indian, very, very popular, but I'm talking about an actual individual. And, with the popularity of silver that we've seen increase rather dramatically over the last year, it is quite an interesting ride that we've seen, not only in terms of the reasons why you stack this metal, but also the diversity and uses increasing since then. We know that there's great demand for the metal that will occur not only in the physical realm in terms of coins, rounds, and bars, but also for use in the industrial, the biomedical, and the technological sectors. And it has been quite a ride for sure. Now, people accumulate the physical. We're learning now for a couple of different reasons. We've seen it rise in price very dramatically since March of 2020 when we saw the metal drop in the electronic markets and the ETFs, but the physical has been driven up. And of course, the premiums go up for those as well as the demand increases in that realm. And then we saw a resurgence of that demand for different reasons with the Wall Street silver squeeze movement that started over on Reddit, and people have been buying it really to try to send a message to the powers that be, not only hedge fund managers, but the COMEX and the LBMA and the like. And for me, though, I believe accumulating the metal has been a rewarding experience over the long course of time to protect and preserve your wealth. But there comes a time when you accumulate the metal for long enough that people tend to evolve. And I don't want to say mature per se, because people have different reasons for accumulating and for investing and for hedging. And I don't think there's necessarily a total wrong way to do it. But I do believe that there has been a movement, and I've seen a natural progression among even the most hardcore silver stackers to make the leap after a while into gold. And gold is something that most people recognize as being a safer bet in the long run, because we know that silver is a very volatile metal, and understandably so because of its dual nature and in the space. And so people tend to gravitate at least some of their portfolio into the gold space. And that's what we see happening. And there's ways to get into gold, just like there was and there is for silver. And that's the beauty of being able to stack precious metals. Both of these metals, gold and silver, are quite profound, and they have a lot of historical reference points. They've been around for a long time, and so that's why it's something that the person I'm about to mention is so excited about moving in this direction. And you'd be surprised, because of one guy who is the most popular silver man is now diving into gold. And that brings us to the sponsored portion of this video. And you can probably tell by the title of this company, First Mining Gold, on who that person is. It is the founder of First Majestic Silver, who is the purest silver company in the world. It's New York Stock Exchange listed with 4,000 plus employees, earning Keith Neumeyer the nickname of Mr. Silver. He is a close contact of Eric Sprott, and Mr. Neumeyer is considered to be among the best ever in the business. And this company is really one of the most undervalued natural resource companies in the world right now. And their most important asset is called Springpole, which happens to be one of the few gold development projects that can produce 300,000 ounces per year in a Tier 1 jurisdiction. And this is known because of a pre-feasibility study completed with an MPV of 5% of $995 million, referencing essentially undervalued at $1,600 an ounce for gold. And that is impressive in my view. So this appraisal that has been done concludes that if gold sells for only $1,600 an ounce, which obviously we're a long ways away from that, where gold, even with its recent drop, is still way above $1,600. Springpole is worth just shy of $1 billion. This company's entire market cap today is $216 million in comparison. When an acquisition bid is made, it is usually done at 0.5 to 0.7 of NAV, which implies that within 2 to 3 years, when Springpole is developed to the point of having its permit in place, that just that project alone is worth between $500 and $700 million US. That's a 300% upside potential only from this one project. It is quite impressive indeed. And this project has a lot of things going for it, especially when you compare it to some of the other assets around. You can see how some of the data shows where it is and its potential compared to other areas around it. But there's much more to just the Springpole project. There's much more to First Mining Gold. The company currently has $33 million in cash, plus the company owns shares of 3 other mining companies. 3 other mining companies they own shares in, and that makes sense. That's kind of been the modus operandi of people like Eric Sprott. He sees potential in companies like this, and he makes a move. And I think it's quite exciting to see whenever there's potential there. Well, they put their money to invest in the area. You'll see in companies like this where many of the top executives do put their own time and resources into their project. And this presentation that I'm scrolling through, I believe, is one of the probably some of the best and most detailed oriented. And you will be able to get it from within firstmininggold.com, and I'll post a link to that in the description below. But it is quite an interesting project, but also the company itself is quite interesting and I think impressive. The company, compared to its peers, is valued at an 80% discount right now, and prices can rise by 400% just to be on par with the others. Additional properties are being developed by partners, and they're all world-class assets. And if you own shares in the stock, FF, before the 27th of June, they will distribute shares of another company to its shareholders. So some of this is time-sensitive information. If you're interested in getting involved, certainly do your own due diligence and check out and inquire on their website for any questions that you have. The way it's structured is like a 10% dividend, and this will be available there, but it's time sensitive. FFMGF will hold a general shareholder meeting on the 30th of June to approve a special gold dividend, via which every existing shareholder will receive the equivalent of a 9.2% yield in shares of treasury metals deposited to their brokerage account. So you must be a shareholder by the 14th of July, and because settlement can take 2 to 3 days, it's safer to place the trade by the 10th of July. So there are some opportunities for those of you who want to get in early, as this is undervalued and has some potential here. So again, there's a broader portfolio here with some of these other projects, as I've talked about. But it's something that I think is just like some of these other companies that I've profiled. this is something that has a time-sensitive nature to it, and has some upside potential. In fact, you know that I've covered other projects that have done very, very well, but these are not without risk. And even though you've heard some big names with this project, there is risk. But that's what entrepreneurship is. And, and so when you think about what these people here, the directors and founders and that are involved in this company, well, this is a chance. But do your own due diligence. Certainly find out for yourselves. You can contact the First Mining Gold. They have their contact information. Certainly suggest that you do that before putting any money involved in, but look at all of the information to make a decision there. But this does provide an opportunity. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.